something just didn't click, and I was totally like,
what was that?
blah, blah,
What was
blah.
that Seinfeld episode where somebody was talking about a date, and she said, "We went to a movie, had dinner, yada yada yada. The date's over." Remember that? It's like,
yes,
you can't yada sex. You can't do that. Like, well,
you
I
can't
did.
do that. Just blow over the details.
Well, I did. And here we are. Hi,
yes, here we are. Oh my gosh. Another episode.
52.
52.
We are at 52.
We're getting close to senior citizen status.
Oh, we
are.
In
the world of podcasting.
You know what? I think our show should join ARP. We should start getting some discounts.
We should. As a matter of fact, ARP, if you're watching, we would love to have you guys as a sponsor. We'll give you guys a shout out. And
actually, yeah, we'll play a commercial. You know, we're fine. We'll show everybody the benefits of being a member of ARP.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Matter of fact, you know what? We should just do our own commercial, and then play it like our own unofficial commercial, and then just like play it fake sponsorship by AARP.
Now, are we wanting to do a serious commercial, or are you wanting me to,
Well, I mean, like it could come across as like dry humor. You know how we can do. Like Wes Anderson-ish movies are very much like dry, but very hilarious for those who have that.
I was thinking of actually getting like legitimate senior citizens and doing stuff. I'll put it that way. We're just going to do some stuff.
Just going to do some stuff with some random senior citizens.
No, I mean people that we know, but yeah, and then do stuff. Do some stuff with them. Yeah.
Wow.
And then that way we can do our AARP commercial.
I love it. I'm loving it. So, gosh, speaking of loving it, I'm loving the Swerve shirt, Tina.
Oh, look at that. Look at that new Swerve.
Yeah. I like it. It's very. Yeah, it's very.
There's a lag.
Stylish.
I don't know what's going on. I'll figure it out. If I gotta come out and come back in.
Okay, fair enough. So, I guess let's go ahead and just dive into tonight's topics, because we got 3 that we want to cover. We're definitely going to talk about the one we have posted up, which is about the possible. Not even gonna say possible. The banning of critical race theory in some states that are like really enforcing. I've seen some disturbing numbers out there saying that they're going to penalize teachers $5,000 for going against the law, stuff like that.
So I want to approach that tonight because as you know, I'm an adjunct with Northern Kentucky University.
Yes.
When I first heard about critical race theory, I was confused because I thought, so nobody is trying to teach anyone the history. I mean, basic social history, the history of separation of races and how one race always say, nobody does that. No, because that's social history, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that you can't ignore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It happened. This is. And we'll talk about it later. But
it's reality, and yes, we'll talk about that later. We actually have something a little bit more. Okay, so you're going to watch the scene. It doesn't seem fun, but trust me, we're going to have some fun here. We're going to have some fun.
Can't wait. And then we're going to top it off with talking about my experience at Vaslav improv class last night. It was amazing, but I'll save all the deets till later. So,
but real quick, was that your first acting class, like ever?
To be honest, yes, that was my first acting class. Yeah, first acting class where I actually had a teacher. Yeah, me too. Like I went in with that mentality, like, you know what, I want to go in as a sponge, and I'm gonna soak up as much as I can.
Just
And
breathe it all
yes,
in.
he did a great job. He
does.
did an awesome
He does
job.
do a great job.
Yeah. So let's jump into this. What's been good? Chris, take it away.
You know what? I was just talking with Sue the other day. What's been good? I have had a year where I just can't complain so far. I mean, honestly. I look at my year so far, and you know, I've got a new different job that I'm happy with. You know, I won't go into details with my family member that they're doing things different now, and everybody's happy. This is like a year for myself and my family. This is a year for like new horizons kind of thing. Like we're just looking beyond. And I'm going to be honest, I can't complain. I probably still do sometimes, but I shouldn't because I can't, because I got nothing to complain about right now. Okay, it's humid where I'm sitting there.
Okay.
I can complain about that.
Is that all you get? Is that the best you can do, Chris?
That's the best I can do. It's humid where I'm sitting, and that's about all I can complain about these days. I feel humid.
Well, you're living a good life then. I mean, like
I am. So far this year, I am.
A really good life. So
I'm gonna knock on this wood that's over here. But yes, things are good. Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Chiquina, what about you? What's been good?
What's been good is the fact that I am becoming more and more patient, even with the ignorant things that are happening with technology right now. The other thing that is really good is I'm excited about the new tees and things. Like I said, thank you for shouting it out. One of the new designs,
nice.
Absolutely love it. We also have some other things going on. Also, I'm super excited that today I had what I would call my first international client for coaching.
Ooh.
It was incredible. It was actually someone from the UK, and it was exciting. Okay. It was an amazing moment. And it was just something to be like, just keep going. You never know who you're going to meet, who you're going to talk to, things like that. So that's what's been good.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
And then for myself, what's been good? Just, taking it one day at a time now that I'm not like bogged down with a bunch of work. Like I had a lot of client work, and I got wrapped up with my first, I guess you could say, short film with some, with a guy that I had no association with before. Meaning that, I didn't, like, this was not a production that I had to put together. Like, this guy sought me out after working on another project for another organization. And he was like, I love our chemistry on editing. Like, I would love for you to edit my short film. So I did that, and it's getting a lot of great feedback. It's a social commentary type piece that deals with, race, of course, but it really is awesome now that that's done, that I can kick back, relax, and be like, my part is finished.
Yeah, that's right.
So I'm super happy about that.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah. So this movie, Chris, that you want to dissect, tell us give us a little.
So what we're going to see is, and some of you may have seen this scene before. It's a movie about a young upstart drummer who, and the scene is called "Not My Tempo," by the way. He is a young upstart. He goes to a school of music in New York, and he meets up with his mentor. And this is somebody that, he's idolized, growing up and learning the drums. This is somebody that he's idolized. So he gets a chance to meet him. He actually takes his class. And the first day that they're in a class, the instructor, this guy that this kid has idolized, he has them play a song that he wrote. He wrote the song. And it's at this point that we see what kind of, I guess, instructor this guy is. I don't want to give any of it away. But I will say this before anybody watches this with us. Every time I see this come across my feed, it's almost like Goodfellas, the movie. I have to stop. I have to stop what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I'm gonna watch this. And the reason is because the amount emotionally what the two actors are having to go through to do this scene as flawlessly as they did. And quite frankly, you're going to see other actors that are in the room too that are having to deal with this as well. You just think about everything that's going through their mind. They're taking their craft of acting to another level. Yep. And this is the type of scene that this is where magic happens. This is where the magic happens. This is when you're done. You wonder if what you just saw was real, or if it was acting, because you can't tell the difference anymore. And I think that's all I'm going to say about that part. And then we can dissect it. I mean, as you know, after we see it.
All right, guys. So go ahead and get ready for a scene from Whiplash.
Not quite my tempo. Little trouble there. Let's pick it up at 17. Ready? 5, 6, and. Not quite my tempo. Here we go. 5, 6, and. Downbeat on 18. Okay, here we go. 5, 6, and. Bar 17, the and of 4. Got it? 5, 6, 7. Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go. 5, 6, 7. You're rushing. Here we go. Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and. Dragging just a hair. Wait for my cue. 5, 6, 7. Rushing. 5, 6, and. Dragging. 5, 6, and. Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging? Count again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference. If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig. Now, are you a rusher or are you a dragger? Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
I'm gonna be on your time.
What does that say?
Quarter note equals 215.
Count me at 215.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus
1, 2,
fucking Christ! I didn't know they allowed retards into Schaefer. Am I to understand that you cannot read tempo? Can you even fucking read music? What is that?
8th note.
Yes, what is that?
Dotted 16th note.
Sight read measure 101.
Ba 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 ba.
What are you, in a fucking a cappella group? Play the goddamn kit! Stop! Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer!
Rushing.
Oh, my dear God. Are you one of those single tier people? Do I look like a double fucking rainbow to you? You must be upset. Are you upset?
No.
No, so you just don't give a shit about any of this?
I do give a
So,
shit about this.
are you upset? Yes or fucking no? Yes, you are upset.
Yeah,
Say it.
I'm upset.
Say it so the whole band can hear you.
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
You are a worthless, friendless, faggot-lipped little piece of shit whose mommy left daddy when she figured out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father-fucking time, say it louder!
I'm upset.
Carl. Start practicing harder, Neiman. Whiplash, bar 125, big boy tempo.
Wow.
Is right.
So that's a sobering scene.
Yeah. I just say the tension was so thick you can cut it with a knife.
Yeah. Everything about that scene. There's a couple of times in there where Neiman, like, he starts to play. Oh, he wasn't supposed to. That seemed so natural. It was so natural of a mistake, you know?
Yeah.
That it just, it makes you think, man, am I not supposed to be in this room right now?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you see the expressions on the other players who are in the room. And you don't know if those other people in the room, if they're musicians or if they're actors, but you can tell by the look on their face, whoever it is that they're portraying, they all kind of wish they were anywhere else but right there at that moment in time. And it just, everything about that scene is so monstrously real. It is an incredible scene.
Yeah, truly is. And what the thing that I like about it, and is really amazing, is that in that scene, that gives you more on the edge of your seat, white knuckle type tension than a horror film.
Yeah.
Like they really did a good job of making the instructor come across as like something that goes bump in the night.
Yeah.
That you don't want to come across in an alleyway. Like you want to turn the other way. And I think the way that they kind of did that, you can correct me if I'm wrong or if you see another way, but my perspective was like really seeing them him come across as like this loving guy, understanding, and then it's like there's a moment where it changes.
Yeah.
And then it's like he goes into this whole thing of like, you got it. But it's like, no, he's like setting him up for that shock where he's like, he walks away, he's nodding, he's like pissed, and he just turns around and hurls that chair or whatever he threw at him.
That was a chair.
That to me is like cinematic, like perfection of what horror should be.
Yeah. Can you imagine having to take a class with that guy?
I mean, taking a class with the student or as the instructor?
With taking a class under that instructor.
Oh man, being yes.
So
I can say
that you know darn well that there are, and I met a couple of people, not chair hurling bad, but I've met a couple of people who, they say they're acting coaches or acting teachers, and I've never taken their class before, but they seem like somebody who would, they could throw a chair at you. they could do it. They could throw a chair,
Yeah.
But man, it's just, every time I see that scene, like I said, I always have to stop. I always have to watch it. How many times did they have to do that scene? Those two guys, how many times did they do it over and over and over again until it became that natural for them to do it, until it became so natural that you're lost. That's a scene where you get lost in the fact that you're watching a movie and you forget you're watching a movie because you're there.
Right.
You're in it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Totally in the moment.
Brilliant.
And the other thing too, to the actors, for those who don't know, those were actual real slaps.
Yeah.
I mean, like those weren't just, oh, it sounded like real slaps because of course they up it and with sound design, but the actual connection that they were making, like those were real slaps. And I'm pretty sure that was a real tear of
you could see
pain.
his face getting red where he
Yeah.
was slapping him. You could see that. And I mean, it's
Yeah.
and again, so it's like, you know, people, you know, I've watched that with other friends, and they say, man, you know, it would be so hard to play that student, you know, because you're confident, and within seconds you've got to be this, you know, just emotional, you know, wreck of no self-confidence at all, and you got to do that in seconds. And I'm thinking, yeah, I get that. Then what about the actor, like I said, who's a human and probably, and they're saying, all right, man, you got to slap this guy or else the scene's not going to work. You got to do it or else the scene's not going to work. And then after everything's said and done, you sit back and you watch the scene and you go, okay, yeah, but still, that, man, do it in a way that it doesn't look like you're acting. It's just, oh man, that was good.
And then to pull it off where he was like the instructor being really mean, like that, you have to go into a dark place of not caring to be able to do that to your fellow actor. Because I can tell you what last night, and I'm talking a little bit later, but it was hard for me to play like the mean guy. Like there was moments where Vaslav was like, okay, Bernard, I don't want you to smile at all. Like, I know that you're just the type of guy who just likes to smile, but I don't want to see a smile from you for the rest of the night.
Okay, so I know you're going to talk about this later, but you know what he was saying, right? You're apparently smiling too damn much.
Pretty much. I mean, it was like, that's my natural go-to. It's like, not to say I smile for no reason, but it's like, I'm a loving guy. So to go into like this character that I know that if I pull back because I don't want to violate the person I'm working with, and to look at what you just showed, it's amazing to go past that and be like, you know what, I don't care if I'm violating. Like this is real. Like I'm not violating an actor. This is my student, and then he's messing up my masterpiece. Yeah, I'm going to slap the crap out of him for that.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
I don't think that would be difficult for me. I think that I could play that role.
Could you do that role?
Wait, which one? Taking the slaps or the slap giver?
No. Don't slap me. I'm gonna come out of character and fight for life. Okay.
Yeah. I think he wants to be the slapper.
Yeah, I think I could do that. Don't judge me.
Boy, I would have. I mean, I know I play a lot of assholes, and I know I played a lot of bad guys, but man, I would have to practice on like a mannequin head to make sure that I'm not doing it.
Wait. Was the person
hard
the kid?
What? I'm sorry?
The person that was slapped was a kid?
Yeah.
Here, I'll play it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I can slap somebody's kid.
Let's jump up to that part.
Yeah, let's jump up to the.
Okay, so
Tina, I'm gonna set you up.
Oh my gosh, he's not a kid. He's grown. He got a bill somewhere.
So I'm gonna set you up. This college kid is this guy right here. That's his mentor, and this is like the first time they're in a class, so to speak. Now, the question is going to come up when he's drumming. Is he rushing the beat? In other words, is he playing the beat too fast a little bit? Okay. Or is he lagging and he's playing it a little bit after?
Okay.
So is he rushing or is he lagging? And it gets to a point where it seems like this instructor's like, he's got a handle on his emotions. He's like, nope, that's not my tempo, but let's try it again. Okay, nope, you got it wrong. Let's try it again. And he keeps doing it, and he keeps doing it. And now we're going to see a sudden change. And this is where I guess the magic in the craft begins.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. That's
when it gets real.
magic has already been happening. They're going to now take it and they're crescendoing it up to an absolute climax at this point. They're just they're taking the awkwardness and they just shot it out of a cannon.
Okay.
Dragging.
Did he fall?
No.
Why do you suppose I just hurled a chair at your head, Neiman?
I don't know.
Sure you do.
The tempo?
Were you rushing or were you dragging?
I don't know.
Start counting.
That march right there.
In 4, damn it! Look at me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
Now, was I rushing or was I dragging? Count again.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference. If you deliberately sabotage my band, I will fuck you like a pig. Now, are you a rusher or are you a dragger? Or are you gonna be on my fucking time?
I'm gonna be on your time.
What does that say?
Quarter note equals 215.
Count me at 215.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus
1, 2,
fucking Christ! I didn't know they allowed retards into Schaefer. Am I to understand that you cannot read tempo? Can you even fucking read music? What is that?
8th note.
Yes, what is that?
Dotted 16th note.
Sight read measure 101.
Bubba, 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 bum.
What are you, in a fucking a cappella group? Play the goddamn kit! Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer!
Rushing.
Oh my dear God. Are you one of those single tier people? Do I look like a double fucking rainbow to you? You must be upset. Are you upset? No. No, so you just don't give a shit about any of this?
This is difficult.
Yes or fucking no? Yes.
To portray either one of them.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'm upset.
Say it so the whole band can hear.
And you know that kid is upset. Look at everybody.
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
You are a worthless, friendless, faggot-lipped little piece of shit whose mommy left daddy when she figured out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father-fucking time, say it louder!
I'm upset.
And you know he is. That's real.
Practicing harder, Neiman. Whiplash, bar 125.
And you know that actor, that kid, I mean, he's, yeah. It's probably not going, I mean, emotionally, he's just been put through the ringer. So those tears that he's got to come up with, they probably, there was an aspect of him where it had to have come pretty freely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be difficult. It would be difficult to not go through that in front of an entire film crew, in front of an entire, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's humiliating, but it's like, you know that this is what it's going to take
Yeah.
to make it work.
Yeah.
And hats off to everyone there.
Yeah. That.
Well, in other news that were real life, and somebody smacked me because of the tempo, that entire drum kit would be all over the room.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to worry about rushing or dragging because everything would be destroyed. Don't ever.
But see, you got mad watching that scene, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, because we were you. Don't you ever.
But it worked.
Right.
And that scene it's doing exactly, I mean, and it does it with vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you watch it for the first time, you're like, holy, who the hell are you? Oh my God, I'd love to shove this stick up your, you know.
Right.
And then once you get over that, then you start watching and you're like, dang, well, I guess they did their job because they put me, I mean, because you're mad. They put you in that moment with them.
Yeah.
You just went through it with them.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever, yeah. That's why I said every time I see that scene, it comes across my feed every now and then. And I'm always like, you know what? Like a good movie, I gotta watch it.
Yep. It's a great scene.
Enough about that scene.
Yeah.
Oh,
So let's go ahead and matter of fact, before we jump into this next piece here, there's another scene that I love, like this one.
okay.
And that's the No Country for Old Men.
Oh,
The scene with the gas station scene in the coin toss.
that's a nail biter scene. Can I set up a little bit of that scene? Are you going to show it?
I can.
Only if you want to show it will I actually give it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this scene involves a killer. I'm sorry, pardon me. I just had dinner before I came online. So it's his dinner. He's an assassin, and he's very good at what he does. He's extraordinarily thoughtless, heartless. He actually has zero empathy. He is poker face when he has to do anything to anybody. Here's a scene where he is at a gas station, and he has interaction with this old timer. I'll just call him an old timer.
Yeah.
This gas station. Now I watched it. The first time I watched it, I thought, man, that was some tense stuff. And then I found out where they got the actor for that gas station. So apparently the movie production people, I don't know who did this, but they contacted your local community theaters, and they asked if there was somebody that would fit this personality, this look, this voice that they wanted. And there was a local guy there who hardly did anything with local theater, but he agreed to do this one because they were like, oh man, this is like such and such. Man, he would be perfect for this. So they asked him and he did it. Now, he knew his lines going in. But ladies and gentlemen, what you are about to see, he never even met this lead actor before they did this scene. So both actors are seeing each other for the first time. And this scene happened. And
this is good.
And it's tense.
Very tense. All right, let's go ahead and play it.
Oh, it's from Miramax.
How much?
69 cents.
And the gas?
Y'all getting any rain up your way?
What way would that be?
I seen you was from Dallas.
What business is it of yours? Where I'm from? Friendo?
I didn't mean nothing by it.
Didn't mean nothing.
Just passing the time. If you don't want to accept that, I don't know what else I can do for you. Might be something else.
I don't know. Will there?
Is something wrong
With what?
with anything?
Is that what you're asking me? Is there something wrong with anything?
Will there be anything else?
You already asked me that.
Well, I need to see about closing now.
See about closing.
Yes, sir.
What time do you close?
Now, we close now.
Now is not a time. What time do you close?
Generally around dark, at dark.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
Sir?
I said, you don't know what you're talking about. What time do you go to bed?
Sir?
You're a bit deaf, aren't you? I said, what time do you go to bed?
Somewhere around 9:30. I'd say around 9:30.
I could come back then.
Why would you be coming back? We'll be closed.
Yeah, you said that.
Well, I got to close now.
You live in that house out back.
Yes, I do.
You lived here all your life?
This is my wife's father's place originally.
You married into it.
We lived in Temple, Texas for many years. Raised a family there in Temple. We come out here about 4 years ago.
You married into it.
That's the way you want to put it.
Well, I don't have some way to put it. That's the way it is. What's the most you ever lost on a coin toss?
I love that scene, just looking at the rapper.
Sir, the most you ever lost on a coin toss.
I don't know. I couldn't say.
Call it.
Call it.
Yes.
For what?
Just call it.
Well, we need to know what we're calling it for here.
You need to call it. I can't call it for you. Well, it wouldn't be fair.
I didn't put nothing up.
Yes, you did. You've been putting it up your whole life. You just didn't know it. You know what date is on this coin?
No.
1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here. And now it's here. And it's either heads or tails. And you have to say, call it.
Well, look, I need to know what I stand to win.
Everything.
How's that?
You stand to win everything, call it.
All right. Heads then.
Well done. Don't put it in your pocket.
Sir?
Don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Where you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin.
That look.
Which it is.
Oh, that look at the end.
What's the most?
That tilted head.
Yeah, that look.
Oh man.
Oh my God, you're talking about this guy had no idea just how close it was, and he portrayed it within just the way he looking at this guy. It was like he was looking for a reason.
Yep.
To like, I'm looking for a reason. Just give me one reason why I should not kill you.
Yes. Yeah. So let's do this by a coin toss.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
don't put it in your pocket.
Don't put it in your pocket. That's your
Where
lucky
do you want
quarter.
me to put it? Well, anywhere, but not in your pocket.
And then that look. Like, yeah. Great. And that's crazy that's like their first interaction.
Yeah.
Since
They'd never
the script.
seen each other. Never even seen each other.
Wow.
And then they did that scene. Now, I don't know if that was the first take, second take, whatever. But they had never met. This guy didn't know what the killer looked like. The killer didn't even know what this guy was going to look like. Sight unseen. And that's the way the director wanted it. The director didn't want either of these two to ever meet each other. They wanted it to be fresh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was, and you can tell. These are two guys who they don't know each other from a hole in the wall. But man, and because of that, I think it's because of that it just flowed so naturally.
It did.
If they knew each other, it would be so different. There might be a sense of familiarity that is an undertone.
Yeah.
But man, as it is, dang.
That was some good acting, good writing too. On both in both clips. Like, hats off to the writers. To be able to come up with such tense scenes. I mean, and again, neither one of them are horrors, but they have horror elements in it that just surpasses a lot of horror films today that are trying to reach that type of tension. It's just great writing, great storytelling.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
Yep.
It is awesome. All right. All right. enough about talking about movies. Although talking about movies is awesome.
It is talking about movies. Awesome. I mean, like we could keep talking about these movies, but of course we have.
Good, but we're not gonna. No, we have other things to talk about.
Yeah.
By the way, Nathan Ivy, I see you.
Yes.
I see you. You said hello. Hello to you, sir. Good to see you here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to everyone else who has been watching, maybe in horror, as they've been watching, especially the first scene that we showed, thinking, wait a minute, thought we were talking about critical race theory. We are starting now.
All right. So
look, it's on the ticker tape.
Yeah, it is. Right at the bottom of the screen.
Yes, it's over. Well, it's over here now.
Well, true. But yes, we are dealing with I guess some situations in where there are some states that are passing laws to stop critical race theory being taught in certain classrooms. And what is that going to do to the state of the students today and the future, overall future? What's the purpose? What's the point? So, Chris, if you can, since you are like our historian, can you just give us your thoughts on why we should ban critical race theory in classrooms?
So, when I first heard that critical race theory was an issue, personally, as somebody who's taught history at the graduate level, I was confused on that. Okay, I was trying to express this to my wife earlier, and she's like, yes, but you're coming at it differently. So you need to come at it first on how people understand that it is. And she gave me, so I really have to paraphrase her. So she gave me this scenario that she had read in an article that explains what critical race, and it's not even a theory. It's, so critical race, just teaching history, let's put it that way. Yeah. So let's say it's post World War II. All right, it's 1946. All right, white man comes home. He's given a house. Yes. He's given so much of a pension. He is given a job that actually pays for him to have a family, be able to take his kids that will then go to school. They will be raised and they will keep doing that, right?
Yep.
Same, let's say a guy from the exact same unit. Let's say they were both in the same unit. Say they both fought in the European theater, okay? But this guy is black and he comes home. The home that he is given is a little substandard. And he is also not given the job. He is not given as much as the white man was when he came home. What people are trying to say is that is critical race theory, or the teaching of critical. That's the basis of it, is how one race is treated differently than another race. Or maybe I should do this. This. How one race is treated from another race. And I mean, and so, and apparently this is something that they've studied in law school. So ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying isn't actually anything new. It's something that has been studied at higher levels. I think when people start talking about it out loud, all of a sudden, a certain group of people suddenly go, well, wait a minute, what is this? You're teaching them what? So now I'm going to take it from the history teacher's point of view. And again, I'm not teaching high school level. I'm teaching college and grad students. And when my wife Sue gave me that as an example that she read in the article, I said, I get that, but that's not any type of new theory. That's just called history. And on top of that, it's a very special, that's social history. I don't know. I don't know how many times as a historian, when I'm teaching other grad students, when I say, look, when you're interpreting history to the general public, or you're interpreting history to a class, or you're interpreting history in book form or in movie form, documentary, I don't care where. Just remember that you're there to interpret history, not your opinion of history or how you think history should look. You're not a pundit. You don't have historians. And I'm going to say this out loud, and there might be a historian out there that says, I disagree with you. Well, you know what? You can, and I'll be more than happy to tell you why I'm right and you're not. I don't think historians should have an opinion when they're teaching history. There's no opinion. There's no opinion to history. History is what it is. If one race was treated differently than another, guess what? That's just called history. That's called history.
Right.
And that's what I drove like a drum beat into the students that I had, is that when you go out there and you're interpreting history to the public, don't gloss over things. You know, don't be a pundit. Don't give your opinion or your viewpoint about something. You're here to give facts. You're here to give solid facts, solid facts that are based in reality. And if you can't do that, you shouldn't be a historian. So now let's jump up to today, where now people are calling this social history, which is, folks, it's history. They're calling it critical race theory. All right. Well, it's not a theory that one race always gets treated differently than another. I think I can go way back in the time machine on this one. That's not theory, ladies and gentlemen. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. Is it a great fact? Nope. But like I said, I'm not here to give you my opinion of it. I'm here to let you know that it happens as a historian. Now, is it critical? Is it a critical? Is that critical race teaching? Yes, it is, because that is a critical problem.
Right.
But it's not a theory, folks. And I guess that's where I haven't used this phrase since I was in college. I'm having a fundamental disconnect with the whole term critical race theory. And the disconnect that I'm having is that it's not a theory. It is history. It really should already be being taught as an aspect of social history. And to ban it means that you'd be banning the teaching of history.
Yeah.
I guess I have a disconnect with this entire argument from one end to the other. I don't understand why there's an issue. Now, you shared with me earlier, and I absolutely love it, the remarks from, General, what is his name?
Miley.
I've watched his video 2 or 3 times now, and I can't get enough of this guy just looking at everybody saying, well, here's why I think we should be looking at it, because XYZ.
Yeah.
You know, I want to know why. You know what? There's a bunch of white supremacist racists out there that's terrorizing the nation. And you know what? As a general, I need to know why that exists. So I need to look at history. Thank you. Thank you, General, for saying that you need to understand history in order to understand why things are the way that they are right here, right now.
Right.
You've got to look at all that, and you've got to understand where all this has come from and where it's in. And then, not where it's going. We can help where it's going. But now you know where it stands right now, and now you know how to better handle it, because you have a better understanding of what brought you, boom, here.
Yeah.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is social history.
Yep.
Now, those of you playing this game at home, later tonight, I want you to say before you go to bed, social history. I would like for that to stick in your head, because that's what it is. And the more you call it social history, the more other people are going to look at you, people who are smart.
Yep.
And they're going to say, you know what? Dang, you're right. Because it's a societal problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is social history. It is a societal issue.
Yeah.
Huh. That is my take on it.
Yep. And
As
if
a
I could
teacher.
piggyback on what you were just saying there, with it being a social issue, a lot of it, I'll sum it up with it being American pride. And I'm not saying that in a good way. American pride and being that it's very destructive to our nation, not allowing people to look in the mirror and say, "Hey, I have some flaws, or I have some things, some stains on me that I have to acknowledge, and I have to not pretend and try to lie like the emperor with no clothes, like it's not there."
That's
You know,
right.
what is clearly there, like our history is clearly there, and it's ugly. There are moments where there are some there's some bright spots, but I would say there's almost equally like some negative things that have happened that somehow America just wants to close its eyes towards. Like, and I'm saying like the government, and this is one of these moments where we're really fighting tooth and nail to like shut their eyes. But information is traveling way too quickly. It's easily accessible.
Yep.
And they can no longer rely on what had happened with Juneteenth. You
That's
know,
right.
like that was 2 years after the slaves were free. And somehow 2 years later, the news gets to the Texans and the people that were slaves there that, oh yeah, you guys been free for 2 years. What? That blows my mind. That's all. I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for Juneteenth, but it's almost like a really sad recognition of how they did their best to keep that information from reaching down south. 2 years. Now, I'm sure that other news had traveled far and wide, but for some odd reason, that didn't hit till 2 years later. But today, as soon as things happen, it is instantly in the public's eye. It's instantly going to be criticized. It's instantly going to be underneath some type of form of judgment, and people are calling out for justice. But I think that, you know, with this whole banning, I think it's 25 states. 25 states, 50% of the states have put into some type of motion a bill to prohibit this type of theory teaching.
Which
And
is crazy, isn't it? Because that means that if that existed, I don't know if Kentucky passed that bill or not.
Kentucky is on that list. A matter of fact, there's a list here, and I can pull up.
Does it? Well, okay, let me ask you. I am now going to find out live in front of everybody. Does that apply to colleges and universities?
Okay, it says right here, it says Republican legislators have pre-filled 2 bills for the 2022 session that would prohibit teaching certain concepts related to race, sex, and religion, and would subject teachers who violate the law to disciplinary action.
I would be disciplined on day one.
On purpose.
No, it's the nature of the beast. It is the absolute nature of the beast. One class that I teach is historical interpretation.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm looking at students who are wanting to be museum professionals. And we talk about the ins and outs of being able to interpret history and the different ways that we can interpret history to the general public in different ways that we can get the public to learn history.
Yeah.
And so in doing so, we look at different facets of the different things that we have to interpret. You know, this is not new. Back in the early 1990s, when I was, maybe this will give you an idea of how old I am. I was working at a living history museum. I had a friend of mine refer to it as uncomfortable history. He didn't see it as uncomfortable, but he knew that when we broach this with other people, they might see it as uncomfortable. And his thing to me, and this was back in 90, 91, 92, his thing to me was that just because your audience may feel it's uncomfortable, it doesn't mean you shouldn't be bringing it up. If it has everything to do with the time period that you're trying to interpret, because your job is to give the story of history as a whole picture and not just little aspects of it. So that's what I teach. On day one, I would be at risk of losing my job, because I would look at my students and say, it really doesn't matter what the state law says. This is what we do as historians. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't be a historian if you're gonna, I mean, it's just, if you're gonna put up a wall if you're gonna put up a wall to half of reality, well, you just made yourself a heck of a lot dumber. But I mean, but at the same time, I mean, you can't do that. It's an injustice. And here's something else that I always tell my students. It's an injustice to the general public and to your future students for them to not hear these things. It is an absolute injustice. Because that means that now they'll never know. And you dumbed them down by not letting them know.
Right.
They didn't get any smarter. They didn't learn anything from you. They didn't gain anything from learning about your quote unquote, your historical story. And if that goes through, I will guarantee you that if I'm asked to come back and teach that same class at NKU, I would be at risk on my first night. I have no problem with saying that publicly because, man, I can't escape that though. I mean, that's what I'm teaching. I can't escape it. I can't escape reality, nor do I want to. I'm saying, it just occurred to me, I just said that as if that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I don't want to escape reality.
Yeah.
Gotta teach it.
And also, I don't know what that does to history, period, because it's all about race.
Mm-hmm.
America was founded, well, I ain't gonna say it was founded, but like what we know as of America was race driven. I mean, you had the Pilgrims or whatever you want to call them, Protestants or whatnot, come over on their ships, and they came across people that didn't look like them. And
what did they do?
They took advantage of them.
Yes, they did.
They took advantage of them, and they were able to do so easily by the shallowness of recognizing the color of skin, the texture of hair, the differences between race. Simple as that. And they would call them savages. They wouldn't. They frowned upon interracial relationships even back then. Not even to talk about marriage. So it's like we don't even have to bring in the whole mistreatment of tribes from Africa. Just dealing with just the indigenous people of this land and how they were treated. What does that do to history? Do we only just talk about the smiles of the Thanksgiving dinner and that's it? And we never talk about the trail of tears and them being swindled out of like acres of land and then being.
You are forgetting the whole MAGA thing. Make America great again. You're forgetting. We want to go back to that 1940s, 1950s grade school type of American history teaching. Yeah. Right? That's exactly. Here's what it boils down to, ladies and gentlemen. There are people out there, and I'm going to say this, look at me, everybody look at me. There are people out there that are afraid that all of us, not just one race or another race, but that all of us are either right now or going to be a hell of a lot smarter than they are. And intelligence is scary. And that's what scares them. And they want to make bills so that we don't learn. Because the smarter we are, the more dangerous we are to them. And I guarantee you, I have absolutely zero regrets of learning anything in life. And you shouldn't either. Go out, read your books. You know what I find fascinating?
What's that?
The government wants me to stop teaching this stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, you can just go to the Library of Congress online right now and check out online original documents. And you could learn the history for yourself right from the horse's mouth.
Yep.
You don't even need me. And the more teachers are going to be silenced, the more information we're just going to give you on how to get the information yourself.
Yeah.
And I can't think of one teacher out there that would disagree with me on that one. I don't care who you are out there. You're not going to disagree with that. We will help you get all the information you need, because guess what? You can't stop people from learning. And they would like for all of us, everyone, to stop learning. Not happening.
Yep. And then I'll read this, just one of the bills that failed to pass. This is going to show you just how cynical this is. In Arizona, it says in May, a bill that would have fined teachers $5,000 for promoting one side of the controversial topic failed to pass the Senate. So like this went before the Senate in Arizona and it failed. And if it would have passed, this would have caused teachers to be hit with a $5,000 fine.
Oh yeah.
For teaching, they say one side of this critical race theory.
Oh heavens. I know exactly how to get around that. I teach both sides.
Yeah. Teach both sides.
I'm more than happy. And in fact, I'm more than happy to do so. You know, even if one, yes, it's always a battle of races. One race is always put over another race throughout time and throughout history. And right now in our American history, I think we all know what's happening right now. But guess what? There's still two sides of it. And as a historian, if you want to be a historian, your job is to know what those opinions are on either side. And now you present them. It's not your place to give an opinion. It's your place to give fact. Now, I have not given one opinion during my entire thing. I've given you fact. Absolute fact. I'm not going to give you my opinion of a historical thing, but I'm going to give you fact. Do you remember the one episode where we talked about the Confederate flag?
How can I forget?
Now, at the end of it, we all had a strong opinion about it. While I was teaching it, however, I did not have an opinion about it.
Exactly.
Basically giving you the history of what it is. And I was letting you know. And you can extrapolate whatever opinion you want from what I said, but I didn't give you mine. Now, at the end of the night, we all had fun. And yeah, obviously, we made our opinion known. But while I was trying to teach everybody that, nope, I did not once give my opinion on it. Not once. Because I want you to hear the facts as they are. And then you can extrapolate whatever you want from them. Yep. All right. I'll get off my box on that.
Okay.
I'll let you have the final word because I've talked enough.
No, it's all good. I think that we as Americans, it's our duty to not allow such things to happen, where they're like, really just trying to erase history or contort it down to, like you said, like a kindergarten level where everything is just, yay, everything was great. Like that's one-sided and that should be penalized. But alas, here we are. We should join together, educate ourselves, and realize that these things are happening. There are 25 states that are out there that are underneath some type of process where they're trying to pass this bill, or the bill was presented and it had failed. I put a link in our chat. I highly recommend you go there, click that, look at the maps, see if your state is one of them. Ohio is on that. Is on that map. Kentucky is on that map. Arizona seems to have gotten out of the woods, but it's not over. The fight is going to continue. As long as there's breath in our lungs, we're going to have to continue to keep fighting to keep the lights on and keep truth prevailing. So, yeah. Oh man, we are over time, but I know I still want to talk, if we can, just briefly. We may have to come back next week, but just briefly about Vaslav's improv class.
I want to know. Okay, I want to know. Just give me a quick synopsis.
Okay.
I want to know the scenes you did. Now you had 2 hours, and he'll run you through those scenes, fast and furious.
Yes.
I want to hear what types of scenes you did.
Okay, so the types of scenes that we did, there was only 3 of us that were there. Matt, who won, I think last week, or he's the
week before. Yeah, he was.
Okay, the week before. And then we had Amber Galloway. She was the other, along with myself. Amber, she came out on top. winning last night, so she's going to be part of that ensemble. That's going to be, I think, July 30th.
July 30th, Friday.
Yeah, July 30th. So I'm going to be starting to promote that on my behalf. And I encourage you guys to come out to that show. But I encourage you guys to come out to his Wednesday nights over at what is it, Evendale Cultural Arts Center?
Evendale Cultural Arts Center at the Bell Tower Arts Pavilion.
Yeah, go check it out, which is beautiful. Oh my gosh, when I walked in, I was like,
do you like that stage?
Dude, yes. Yes. Yeah. Love it. But
Sue just had that stage completed this year.
Man, I take my hats off to her for that. That as soon as I walked through the doors, I was just blown away. Like it felt what's the word I'm looking for? It felt like an intimate theater experience.
Yeah. And I love the fact that she decided, well, let's leave the pews in for now because they actually work as seating.
I love it.
They work as seating. And I think in its own way, it's kind of kitschy and it makes it fun. It reminds you that this building is going through some adaptive reuse, you know?
Yep.
But it's still a great building and it still can be used and we're still, anyway, go on. Yeah. I want to hear what you, Bernard Fields, what did you do on that stage? What did you do? Okay,
so the first thing that he had us to do was to stand in line and we rotated and we went through like emotions and he was just hammering us like happiness. And whatever first came in your mind, you had to act it out. So it was like happiness, frustration, sadness, scared, nervous, shy, and you just never knew what you were going to get. So just rotating between the two others, that was a lot of fun. And then we broke off where he said, okay, I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes to come up with something. Go. And that was it. Like, that's all he said. It was like, what? Like you're not going to give us no other like cues? No, we went to the back and I can't remember what we did. I think I pitched an idea about them being two drivers and I'm a hitchhiker. And I'm trying to get to a town or whatever. Okay. And he had us play that different ways. Like he had me be a creepy guy. He had me be like, okay, the guy who's, not so creepy, which that's easy for me. But it was difficult. It was quite the stretch for me because I like to smile. Vaslav, after a while, was like, dude, he was like, Bernard, I don't want you to smile for no more for the rest of the night. Like he was like, no more. And I still smiled a couple times, but it was like, that was part of my cynical smile, like the whole thing of like, yeah, like that type of deal. But that was good. And then we did like, we did Western, in which he was like, he told us, he was like, you guys, was it Western that he said we weren't good at? He said, you guys are not good at Western. And I had to laugh at myself because I'm like, I'm a black guy, and it's like, I don't watch cowboy movies enough to be able to pull Western out. But it was just so odd for me because I'm thinking to myself, like, I have to go into these darker character places in my mind. Mm-hmm. And I'm such a nice guy. I don't want to offend the other actors. I don't want to, grab you and be like, though we're acting, grab you and act like I'm slapping you or I'm abusing you. Okay, here's one. This was awkward.
Okay, let's hear it.
They had me and Matt and I. We were security guards at a prison. Okay. And the girl, Amber, she was. We were to abuse her in a jail, and I'm thinking to myself like,
there's potential awkwardness.
Yes, the darkest things came to my mind that I immediately said no to because that's just who I am. I'm like, I'm not going to act like that. That's rude. That's sexist. But in my mind, I heard this little voice say, you really got to take it there. You really got to go there. And I did not go there because the moment I saw her like get down on her hands and knees and was like, like, no, don't hurt me. And my heart just melted. And I was just like, crap. Like, okay, I came off cheesy. And because Matt was the lookout, making sure that nobody else was going to come along and see what I was doing to her. So I'm like, this is so wrong. So wrong and awkward.
So So in that instance, so I know where you're thinking. You're thinking that you don't want to do something physical with her.
Yes, I did want to touch her, but I felt
What
like,
if you did everything to imply that this is what she has to do? Why don't you do everything to say it in your own cynical, creepy way? She's on her hands and knees. Why don't you get on your hands and knees and put your face in hers so you can loudly whisper to her exactly what she knows she needs to do. So this way it's coming across, but you don't have to physically go there, but you can emotionally go there.
yeah.
You know,
Very great point.
that might be where I would have gone because I don't know her. And so I don't know. And we're not, it's not being filmed. We're not on set. So it's like, I get where you're coming from, because then it's like, well, how far do I go with this? There's always another way to get your emotion across without having to physically look like you're doing some physical harm to her.
Yeah. But that was good. It was definitely good.
But I can see that would be a challenge, and man, good for you for taking it.
Yes. I didn't back down from any challenges that was thrown my way.
Awesome.
But it was definitely a stretch, and it felt good. It felt like a great stretch, and I'm going to go back next week.
I'm going to be there next week.
Yeah. See, Chris Gordy's going to be there. I'm pretty sure Matt's going to be there. Yeah. I'm going to do the best that I can to try to invite as many other people, like from the 48, from B3C, other film organizations around town, and just let them know, like, hey, there's a spot where you can, like, get those chops lubricated.
Yep.
That's the cool part.
Well, I think it's awesome that you were there. I think it's great that you stayed with it, that you didn't say, no, I'm not going to do this scene because it goes against my principles.
Right.
Sometimes you get that, but you just have to remember that's not really me. I'm just an actor.
Yeah.
I'm acting it out. Nobody in this room thinks that I'm a creepy rapist. I'm acting. Ta-da!
There it is.
Well, with that, we should probably let everybody go.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we thank you guys for tuning into another Slanted Brow Show, number 52.
Number 52, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to be back next week with 53.
Woo!
And until next time, guys, remember to always keep it classy, San Diego.
Keep it classy, Cincinnati.
WKRP.
Keep it classy. Keeping it classy.